What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Diesel RTA. So before we get started with this one, I wanted to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already right below this video here. Also click the notification bell. That way you are alerted whenever I upload videos. And since my channel is completely demonetized now, if you want to support me, you can check out my Patreon. Link is right down there in the description. Or if you want to make a one-time donation, you can use my paypal.me link, which is paypal.me/dailyvapetv. All right, guys, so with that out of the way, today we're going to be taking a look at this guy right here, the Diesel RTA, which is from Ambitions Vapor and Timesvape, with a big, huge shout out and thank you going to Timesvape for allowing me to take a look at one of these devices for the purpose of making this video. So this device was given to me at Vapor Expo UK by Gary from Timesvape, and upon first inspection, the build deck looked very familiar. After questioning Gary about this, he said that it was in the design phase for a little over a year, and the first draft of this one definitely looked nothing like the final form. So taking a quick look online, this device comes in two different color options. You've got a black version and a stainless steel version, and it's going to run you about 40 bucks, which I think is a pretty fair price for an RTA in this market. And if you guys want to grab one of these for yourself, I'll have a link on my website. Link to that is right down there in the description below. By the way, you could pick up some sweet merch there as well. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Diesel RTA in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, then we'll talk about what's inside. So nothing really to write home about here, just a plain looking box with Diesel RTA on the front and a big old nicotine warning down there at the bottom. Not sure if this is the final version of the packaging, considering I was given this a little bit early, but with that, let's just go ahead and take a look at it. We've got a disclaimer here on this side. Not sure if you can read that, but feel free to hit that pause button if you want to read it. On this side here, we've got some Timesvape social media information, and on the back, pretty much your standard stuff, just what's in the box and some specs, little UPC, scratch and check, and Timesvape logo. Let's take a look at inside the box here real quick. We've got a little tiny fold out manual, not that it's really necessary, tiny printing, almost illegible in a number of different languages, but color graphics. I'm still gonna knock 5 points off for the foldy outy manual. We've got the Diesel RTA itself, which we'll take a better look at in just a minute here. We've got a spare frosted tank, as you can see here, and a little box of parts, which is going to be impossible to get out. In said box of parts, we have our usual fare. I haven't even taken a look at it, but I already know. We've got some, looks like spare insulators, maybe? Oh, that's a little bit different. We've got some spare grub screws, a screwdriver, and a bunch of O-rings. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the specs. First of all, it's machined at 27 millimeters, tapered down to 25. It has a leak-proof top airflow system, surrounded honeycomb airflow for smoother flavor, top refill system, 2 mil tank, and spare 5 mil bubble tank, gold or silver plated postless build deck. It comes with an 810 drip tip, and it has a protruding gold-plated 510 pin and peak insulator, and reverse threads between bottom 510 cap and build base. So let's briefly go over some of the parts of the Diesel RTA, starting off with the drip tip up top here. This is a very low profile frosted clear acrylic drip tip, as you can see all the way through there. Nice wide bore, and nothing really else to write home about there. On the inside lip of the top cap section, we have an O-ring that holds your drip tips nice and secure. Just to showcase that, we've got a standard 810 tip here, and it fits no problem. The airflow control ring is located right here at the top section of the tank, and it's made of the same clear frosted acrylic. It can be a little bit difficult to move, so just be aware of that. Luckily, it has some grooves cut out there to help it along a little bit. To fill up the tank, you have to remove this whole upper section here, which is kind of weird, I gotta be honest with you. But as you can see here, we have very generous fill holes on either side, and it allows for air to escape at the same time as you're filling this thing, so you should be able to fill this up in no time. As you can see, the outer bell cap section has the word Diesel laser engraved on it, which is obscured by the fact that it comes with a frosted tank, so really not sure why they put branding on this thing if you can't see it anyways. And here you can see inside the airflow outer section, this is what brings the air down into the chamber, and I think it's actually kind of ingenious how they did this. Then we get down into this inner bell cap and deck section, and this is where I feel like they missed the mark. This piece right here is just completely floating, and it's just kind of fiddly and can easily be lost, and I just feel like they should have worked on that a little bit harder. But with that being said, the deck section is pretty cool. We've got my coils still installed, as you can see. Pretty simple build in there. I've been vaping on this for over a month, and it's held up really well. I really like the fact that your wicks are tucked neatly in place by this little ring here on the outside. So let me go ahead and take out my coils and show you the rest of the build deck. So this is the part I was referring to in the intro to this video. This build deck looks very familiar, and I'm sure you guys know which one I'm talking about here, but with that, I spoke with Gary. He said they had this design in their pocket for about a year or so it was just purely coincidence. With that being said, as you can see on the outside here, we have our honeycomb airflow, which is very, very smooth, and our screws right there, which are flathead. No problems with the screws whatsoever on this one. You have your little wicking ports on either side there, which work great. Tuck your wicks in, and it's a breeze. You have your oblong post holes at the bottom there, which are very easy to build on. You just drop your coils into place and maneuver them a little bit to get them centered in with the little dual kind of semicircle airflow things going on, which it's a little bit cramped. Yeah, I'll be honest, it's a little bit cramped in there. Not too difficult to build on. I think anyone would be able to do it, no problem. And last but not least, we have our serial number, diesel logo, and Timesvape logo on the very bottom with a gold-plated 510 pin. So there you have it, the diesel RTA in a nutshell. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, my first pro is that the airflow is fairly smooth. Now, being that this is a top airflow RTA, I feel like it's a pretty difficult feat to accomplish, and the airflow on this one feels nice and natural and smooth. It's fairly quiet, and it's a really enjoyable vaping experience. My second pro for this one is that it's leak-proof. I can't even fathom a way that you could get this thing to leak, and that just means that you're not going to end up with a pocket full of e-liquid if you screw up on the wicking, which is really great because honestly, I really am not a fan of juice getting in my pocket. And my third and final pro for this one is that it's fairly easy to build. It's a postless deck. You just undo the screws, drop your coils in, it's easy peasy, and with that, you're going to spend less time building and more time vaping. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons. My first con is the plastic pieces on it. I am just not a big fan altogether. I feel like they should have done a glass bubble tank, and as far as the airflow control ring, not only is it going to be more difficult to clean, especially if you have some darker e-liquid, it does tend to get behind there, and it squishes around in your airflow control ring and just looks kind of gross. My second con for this one is the bulky upper section that you have to remove in order to fill your tank. It's just really heavy and annoying, and more than one time I have accidentally spun the chimney section off and dumped my whole tank all over the place. My third con is definitely subjective, but I am not a big fan of low pro tips. Now, I use them from time to time for aesthetic reasons, but actually using them is very bothersome to me. I really don't like these super low drip tips. I feel like you're putting your lips more on the upper top cap section than anything else, and overall I'm just not a big fan. Obviously this makes no difference with the performance of the device, but it's just my opinion. And my fourth and final con for this one is once again subjective, but I am not a huge fan of the knurling. Now, typically, I'm a big fan of knurling in that it is very helpful when it comes time to remove the top section to fill it and all that, but I just feel like it looks a little bit over the top with this one here. I feel like it almost looks unnecessary, and I just don't know why. I just cannot get used to this knurling. Maybe it looks better on the black version compared to the stainless, but personally, once again, not a big fan. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? Meh, I'm gonna say no to this one. Honestly, there's nothing performance-wise that really bugs me about this device, but I feel like there's just a lot of other tanks out there that I'd rather have over this one in the same price range. It's just a no for me. I really don't have any better explanation from it. I just don't really see myself using this one too much in the future. But if you took one look at this thing and said, oh my god, I have to have it, then check out the link on my website. Link to that is right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Leave your comments in the box below and check out the links I've got down there in the description. Make sure you check out dailyvape.tv. That's where you're going to find links to my most popular playlists, merch, and lots of other cool stuff, as well as my Patreon if you guys want to support the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on!